If we're going to spend more money on our Department of Defense, on our NDAA, why don't we pay military recruits more money instead of paying for electric vehicles and electric vehicle charging stations? That is an embarrassment, and I think it's an insult to the American people.
Madam Chair and Ranking Member Smith, I have good news in that the NDAA does include a raise for our service members, which is long overdue, but we can't multitask.
That's Dairy Queen, an elected member of Congress. Let that sink in. The U.S. House of Representatives and this grunt muffin. How did that happen? Well, it started here. Trump single-handedly lowered America's expectations from the best and the brightest to dull-witted wife beaters cheating on their GEDs.
Open borders, the Green New Deal.
Her voice, without tone or cadence,
The greatest president in United States history.
is like the dull, incessant thud of an 18-wheel mud flap against your head.
We had witnessed 9/11, the terrorist attack in New York, and the plane that crashed in Pennsylvania, and the so-called plane that crashed into the Pentagon. It's odd, there's never any evidence shown for a plane.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's dumb is criminal and possibly indictable.
Indictable.
Every day she inserts her portly foot deeper into her mouth, this time criticizing the military and technology, two things of which she knows zero, and any attempt to causes her tiny brain to pull a hamstring. This video reveals her stupid caught in real time.
Madam Speaker, examples of the electric vehicle funding in this bill text are Joint Base Andrews, microgrid with electric vehicle charging infrastructure for $17.92 million. Joint Base Andrews is only 10 miles outside of Washington, D.C., in Maryland. This is the very base that if there was an attack on our nation's capital, Joint Base Andrews would be responding. Are we going to have to sit around and wait for our military members at Joint Base Andrews to charge their electric vehicles to come into the nation's capital to defend us in case of an attack?
But first, let's address what she actually said. Andrews Air Force Base is across the river from the Pentagon, and in the event of an attack, she envisions tanks and vehicles running on electricity coming to save the Pentagon and D.C. But Andrews is an Air Force base. They don't have electric tanks. And besides, we were already attacked by you ignorant sow.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol.
Couple things. Electric vehicles are here, and while their market share grows slowly, it's definitely growing. But Waffle House is taking the cue from Tiny Finger's shallow puddle of knowledge that anything that doesn't create smoke and pollution can't possibly work, even if it does.
This tremendously powerful battery, and the battery's now underwater. And there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. The boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
That's Trump this week campaigning, and his cognitive decline is on full display.
And the battery's now underwater.
Here he attacks a battery-powered boat that sinks. He thinks the battery in the water would electrocute him. And then his worm brain...
in his brain that had eaten part of his brain and then died.
Well, it gets distracted by the thought of a shark. Is it any surprise that he's Dairy Queen's hero?
And you think gas prices are high now? Just wait until you're forced to drive an electric vehicle. Exactly.
I don't know where to go with that. I think she thinks that either electric cars run on gas or she simply has no idea how economics work. I mean, less demand for gas would lower the price.
An economy based on wind. I never understood wind. You know, I know windmills very much. I've studied it better than anybody. Tremendous, if you're into this, tremendous fumes, gases are spewing into the atmosphere. You know, we have a world, right? We're doing it right. And, you know, our numbers environmentally right now are better than they've ever been before. The
problem with Trump and Dairy Queen is they lie with impunity because of two reasons, which are really just one reason. Fox News doesn't challenge them, and their people only watch Fox News.
But if you really want to stay warm, don't drive a Tesla. The freezing temps are zapping the juice out of electric cars, leaving drivers stranded. In Chicago, a little cold weather turned a supercharging station into an expensive junkyard.
Oh, we got a bunch of dead robots out here.
Dead robots.
That's hilarious. But you want the facts? You know what else severe cold affects? Yeah, your battery in your gas-powered car. But you see, Fox never talks about the reason for electric vehicles, and that's climate change. As of June 2nd, 2024, the weekly average carbon dioxide in the Earth's atmosphere was 427 parts per million. Well, what does that mean? Well, it's the highest level in several million years and 50% higher than before the Industrial Revolution. Now, I know that sounds complicated, and I don't expect junior high here to understand, but someone needs to, and needs to fast.
The noise causes cancer. You tell me that one, okay?
CO2 is trapping heat in the atmosphere, and that causes many things that, ironically, disproportionately affect Republican voters in rural areas. These power plants that spew CO2 also spread toxins that foul the air, groundwater, and contribute to the spread of diseases that can lead to pandemics and death. But Trump, Fox, and Dairy Queen shroud themselves in denial and ignorance and pretend nothing's happening, which means the Republican voters will tumble back into their dark and dumb existence.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
I don't know for a fact, but Dairy Queen and that woman have to be related.
I'm very excited about that.
Here's how you know that climate change is real. And no, it's not the carbon parts per million or even the rising seas and melting glaciers. You know what's happening because the people responsible, oil companies, are investing in electric cars and plants with reduced emissions. Like the cigarette company executives who quit smoking but keep lying, Exxon, Shell, Mobil, and the rest, they know the truth, and maybe Trump does as well, although I wouldn't bet on it.
Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill. They were fighting uphill. He said, wow.
Marjorie Taylor Greene is from Georgia, a beautiful state with beautiful cities on the Atlantic Ocean, which, however, is rising, and within a generation will endanger the expensive homes, businesses, and schools on the coast. But that's not Dairy Queen's district. Her voters live deep inside the part of Georgia that makes Deliverance look like a rom-com. So why doesn't she tell them the truth? Well, even if she could explain it, the people that vote for her revel in their stupid.
We've already warmed 1 degree Celsius, and do you know what's happened since then? Here, let me tell you. We have had more food grown since then, which feeds people. We are able to, producing fossil fuels keeps people's houses warm in the winter. That saves people's lives. People die in the cold.
Right.
This earth warming and carbon is actually healthy for us. It helps us to feed people. It helps keep people alive. It helps. The earth is more green than it was years and years ago, and that's because of the earth warming. That's because of carbon.
Wow. None of what she said is true, and it's all dangerous. And yet at this pivotal time in our evolution, we have the worst possible representatives in Congress and state legislatures. Of course, they don't believe in evolution like this guy, one of Georgia's finest, giving Dairy Queen a run for the most dim-witted mope in the peach state.
Now, I'll tell you something else I heard. Now, think about this, because at one time, science said man came from apes. Did it not? That's when you go to the science.
Every time I read or hear that, I think to myself, you just didn't read the same Bible I did.
Well, this was interesting, though. If that is true, why are there still apes?
That is both funny and terrifying. The world our children will inherit is one that needs very smart people. But don't look here.
I love the poorly educated.
MAGA is a collection of anti-science creeps who don't trust what they don't understand and don't care enough to try. And they worship this guy.
Hi, what's up?
Just wait until you're forced to drive an electric vehicle.
You know, I don't know what kind of car Waffle House drives, but I'm pretty sure it only goes in reverse.
Damn right.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I'm Chip Franklin.